Now, usually, I try to make videos that inspire you to travel or chase your dreams, and I'd much rather you watch those. But I do realize that a lot of times chasing your dreams end up becoming a business. So I thought I'd lend a helping hand, or two.
Asset management ratios. What do you think they could possibly mean, or what could they entail? Just walk through your understanding of business so far. We're in business to make money, right? Assets are the things we have that help us make money. Management is just how we are using those things we have. So that's all asset management ratios are worried about. How productive are we being with the things we have? And we have a bunch of clues that are going to help us with that. So as partners, you and I, all those other ratios that we've spoken about, liquidity ratios, we just wanted to know, hey, in case something goes wrong in our operations, how liquid are we? Are we going to be able to settle our immediate obligations, the money we owe within the year? And then we went to long-term solvency ratios. All right, so we panicked a little bit more, but we were just being more conservative. We were just making sure we were expert, intelligent business people. And with our long-term solvency ratios, we understood that, yes, the near future is important, but we are still worried about our obligations after a year. And then we actually got really confident, and we spoke about ratios that have to simply do with covering interest and our ability to cover interest. And we gave two great examples showing that we run a great operation. We never have to worry about our short-term obligations. As long as we keep selling the way we are, then we're not going to run into any problems. But there are other things we have to consider, and that's just for everything we have, how productive are we being with them? And that's what our assets management ratio is about. So we're going to take a look at some examples. Well, this should be all of the ones we're going to talk about. These are the main ones you'll see in finance, and I'm just going to go through the cards. But obviously, we're going to talk about them individually later. This one's total assets turnover ratio. And I want you to start trying to spot similarities between the cards that I'm going to be showing you. Okay, so total assets ratio, we just want to see how much sales we're generating per dollar value, just to simplify things of things we have in general. Our long-term assets, our short-term assets, current assets, I should say. How much are we generating as a result of having those things? Receivables turnover. So this is another one of our assets, right? If we have products we plan on selling and people are interested in purchasing them, sometimes they may not have cash. So we'll take, in a way, an IOU. They could swipe their credit cards. They owe us money, or we could just give them the product in good faith, knowing that they owe us money. So how efficient are we in turning those IOUs into actual cash? Okay, so that's what our receivables turnover is going to be concerned with. Inventory and cost of goods sold. Whenever you see cost of goods sold, I don't want you to panic on the cost side of the term. Be more excited about the goods sold side of the term, because inventory, look, if you don't sell your inventory, you're basically just a collector. So we want to know, how good are you at selling the things you sell? Every time you stock up your merchandise, how quickly are you getting rid of them? Okay, so that's what our inventory turnover ratio is about. How good are you at getting rid of the things you intend on selling? And when I say getting rid, I don't mean throwing them in the garbage. I mean actually, selling them. Fixed assets. So those are usually your long-term assets. When we talk about managerial economics, I hope we get a chance to, you'll understand why they're very important. For you right now, you may not understand why we're separating fixed assets from long-term assets or things like that. But just for right now, understand that your fixed assets, whenever you start reaching economies of scale, that's a new term for us, your fixed assets are going to play a key role in that. The costs, the things that you have, the value of the things that you have, I should say, for producing what it is you produce, but you can't change it. All right, if you decide that, you're not going to produce, you're not going to produce anything this period, well, guess what? You still have these assets. They're not going anywhere. Okay, then it's not going to, they're fixed. You like it or not, these are going to be there. Your land is not going anywhere. The plant that you have is not going anywhere. Okay, so those are your fixed assets. How much in sales are they generating? Are they being productive? days in inventory turnover. So we just want to know, how long are you keeping your inventory for too long? Why do we care about this? Because we don't want things to go bad. We don't want people to lose interest. Days sales outstanding ratio. This again, how long is it that people are owing us money for? We want to be very good at managing the amount of money people owe us, because after a while, people don't feel like paying. They go, you know what? He hasn't really bothered me too much for all this money, so how about I just don't pay him at all and I just keep his goods? That's a problem in business. So we want to measure and monitor how good we are at actually collecting cash after people owe us money. So days sales outstanding ratio is one of those ways we do it. Turnover ratios. Okay, so the reason I made a separate card for these, well, I'll actually make a separate video for them as well, is because I want you to be able to remember turnover ratios. And just remember this card: turnover ratios, sales. Like, should you just always think of sales whenever you see turnover ratios? And hopefully, if you remember the ingredients, I should say, or the characters that make up the ratios that I've just gone through, maybe you start seeing a commonality. Maybe you start seeing a commonality now. Receivables turnover. Okay, so we spoke about the days outstanding already. And that actually included, I don't know if you remember seeing 365 days. But before we measure before we see how many days people owe us money for, we just need to see how good we are at turning money owed into cash. All right. So our accounts receivables, how good are we actually turning it into something productive, something that we want to keep in our pockets? Because guess what? IOUs, yes, they are an asset to us because they are a promise. It's not a guarantee. The only thing guaranteed that we can spend and use as we like is cash. Okay? So how good are we at turning accounts receivable, money that people owe us, into actual sales, into cash? Spoke about that already. So it looks like I've gone through the whole gambit here. And that's all we're really going to be worried about for asset management ratios, is just how good are we at using the things we have, getting the most out of the things we have. Okay, that's it. Nothing tricky, just assets and managing them.
Thank you so much for watching. Turning a dream into a reality usually ends up becoming your business. That is why we have the Helping Hands videos. Subscribe, like, and feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Fans of Kindness, our Facebook page, is also waiting for you. See you in the next video. Until then, be your best and never stop learning.